Hello Vorthos and Mail Commander players, I'm Prospo and I welcome you to EDH Scout. Today we'll continue the set Tribal reviews with the newest set, Wilds of Eldraine. In these videos we review the cards in the set according to their tribal flavor and their use in a Tribal EDH Commander deck. Hope you enjoy! Let's start with the Fairies tribe, which got 51 new cards. Tegwil, Duke of Splendor, is the face commander of the Fey Dominion pre-constructed deck, and is the perfect commander for the Fairies tribe in Dimir colors. He is a lord for the fairies and scores the full 25 flavor points. He helps with card draw as your fairies die. Other interesting legends in Dimir colors for the fairies are Alela, Cunning Conqueror, helps with play on your opponent's turn strategy and helps to goad your opponent's creatures. Obira, Dreaming Duelist, helps to deal damage to your opponents as your fairies enter the battlefield. And Talion, the Kindly Lord, taxes your opponents and draws cards as well, not bad for the 99 of the deck. A few blue non-legends boost the fairies tribal flavor of our deck. Talion's Messenger helps with looting and boosts your fairies with +1/+1 counters as your fairies attack. Archmage of Echoes doubles our fairy and wizard spells. And Shadow Puppeteers creates 1/1 fairies that can potentially turn them into 4/4 dragons. Both Tegwil Scoring and Fairy Slumber Party are nice board wipes that leave 1/1 fairies token behind. Perfect flavorful spells for the Fairies tribe. Fairy Fencing is a nice flavorful removal spell, and Spell Stutter is a powerful counterspell for the tribe. Ego Drain is a flavorful spell, but not so powerful in the commander format. Another flavorful fairy is Picklock Prankster, who can draw you a fairy with the adventure part. Likeness Looter and Malleable Impostor are nice powerful fairy clones. Rowdy Research and Into the Fey Court are flavorful draw spells worth considering for our deck. Asinine Antics is a pseudo board wipe and Rankle's Prank can give you nice advantage. Finally, 3 fairies in black from the Commander Precon deck are quite interesting. Blightwing Bandit can draw cards for your opponent's library. Fairy Blade Crafter grows bigger as your fairies deal combat damage to your opponents and potentially finish the game when he dies. And Netling Nuisance creates goaded tokens for your opponents. Not bad. The Rats got 20 new cards, mainly creating 1/1 rat tokens that cannot block. First of all, we have Lord Skitter, Skewer King, a legendary rat noble that exiles cards from the opponent's graveyards as rats come into play under your control. With his second ability, he creates a 1/1 rat token each turn. The other legendary rat of the set is Old Flitterfang, that creates food tokens and can be used as an expensive sacrifice outlet as well. Totenta's Swarm Piper is another iteration of Piper of the Swarm from Throne of Eldraine. He is a legendary human warlock that creates rats and occasionally will give them death touch. Shattered Ratter boosts your rats when they are blocked, and Ogre Cheaterlord helps with the rat token creation and later in the game gives a big boost to your rats. Tangled Colony, Voracious Vermit, and Lord Skitter's Butcher are 3 rats that create 1/1 rat tokens and score 21 flavor points. Lord Skitter's Butcher is quite interesting for his other versatile ETB abilities. Twisted Sewer Witch creates a rat when it ETBs and then she creates a Wicked Roll aura attached to each of your rats. This will help you to lower your opponent's life on their own. And with Lord Skitter's blessing, you are drawing more cards, and with Warehouse Tabby, you create more rats. Nice flavorful synergy. Gnawing Crescendo is a nice combat trick that boosts all of your creatures with +2/+0 and replaces your non-token creatures that die this turn with other rats. Song of Tontentage is an efficient rat token creation spell, and Redcap Gutter Dweller a slow impulsive draw engine. The humans got 102 new cards. First of all, from the three witches of Eldraine, Agatha has the most flavorful abilities as helps with lowering the cost of the abilities of your creatures and can lead an abilities matter deck. She synergizes nicely with her Soul Cauldron, as you can use it as a form of Graveyard Hate and ability Steal engine with a +1/+1 counter sub-theme. Will and Rohan, the Royal Scions, are interesting and powerful commanders for a life gain and a life loss deck respectively, not so flavorful for a human tribal deck though. Other interesting human legends are Greta, Sweet Tooth Scourge, a nice Food Matters commander in Golgari, and Johan, Apprentice Sorcerer, a nice spell-slinging human wizards commander that gives a form of card advantage. Imodain, the Pyrohammer, can lead an interesting burn deck, and Killan, the Fey-Blooded, an aura and equipment matters deck in Boros colors. The enchantment matter sub-theme is quite prominent in the set, especially in the human tribe, giving a nice boost with a Tale of the Ages and Sir Almond the Redeemer to your enchanted creatures. The perfect commander for that deck is Gwillan, Casting Director, from the pre-constructed deck. But the most important and possibly impactful card for the human tribe in this set is Stroke of Midnight, a new really powerful and flavorful removal spell. Other interesting white spells are the Expel the Interlopers, a potentially powerful board wipe, and Discerning Financier that ramps in a very white way in the form of treasures. His second ability can give card advantage as well. Ingenious Prodigy turns his +1/+1 counters to extra cards, and Charming Cauldron, like the Charming Prince from Throne of Eldraine, has nice, versatile ETB abilities. In black, two spells with bargain can be useful. Beseech the Mirror is one of the most powerful tutors, and Candy Grapper could be a helpful removal spell. In green, we've got Return of the Wilds, a nice versatile modal spell, and Royal Treatment, a nice protection spell. Finally, Throne of Eldraine can be a powerful mana rock and card draw effect in a monocolored deck. The Dragon's Tribe got 8 new cards. Starting with Godric, Cloaked Reveler, a 3-mana legendary human that turns into a dragon with the ability to boost your dragons. Corvold, Clifford Cluton, is at a reasonable power level, not as his previous iteration. He is at the same colors and again focuses at a sacrifice and a +1/+1 counter sub-theme. Realm Scorcher Hellkite is an interesting dragon that can give most of the mana back if he is bargained. Decadent Dragon has an interesting card advantage adventure half, and he can ramp quite nicely when he attacks with treasures. Malevolent Witchkite can also help with card draw if we have artifacts, enchantments or tokens to sacrifice. And finally, Corvold and the Noble Thief is a saga that can help with ramp and card draw. The Spiders got only one card, but it is a nice, flavorful removal spell that turns an artifact, enchantment or creature with flying to a food token. The Golems got 3 new cards. With the most interesting one being Brillant Ginger Sculptor, who is in banned colors and give a huge boost to your golems, a +2/+2 and trample. His second ability creates a food golem each time a non-token creature you control dies, perfect flavor for the golems. The Satyrs got 5 new cards. Two of them are worth mentioning. Graph triplets distribute 9 power to the battlefield across 3 bodies for 6 mana. And Root Rider Fawn is a nice flavorful mana dork. His 3 toughness makes him quite resilient. The Giant's tribe got 13 new cards. The only legend for the tribe is Belluna Grandsquall in Timor colors. She is really interesting as a commander of a deck with an adventure sub-theme. Picking for adventures, Grubby Giant and Two-Headed Hunter have interesting adventure halves. Gingerbread Hunter, Stormkelm Vanguard and Belluna's Gatekeeper have useful removal spells as adventures. There is also a light high mana value matter sub-theme, with Sky Beast Tracker and Galvanic Giant the most important ones. Finally, Thunderous Debut can almost win you the game if it is bargained. The Nightmare Tribe got 8 new cards. The most interesting card for the Nightmare Tribe is the Planeswalker Asiok, Wicked Manipulator. He creates many Nightmare tokens and interacts with cards in exile, giving you card advantage and milling your opponents. Cruel Somnophage helps with milling your opponents and can turn into a massive threat later in the game. The tribe has a light enchantments matter sub-theme, and the most important card of these is Wicked Visitor. Taken by Nightmares is a useful removal spell for the tribe that helps you scry as well if you control an enchantment. And Restless Fortress is a useful creature land for the Nightmares tribe. The Elementals got 14 new cards. A new interesting commander for the tribe is Hilda of the Icy Crown. She cares about tapping your opponent's creatures, and with that she creates 4/4 elementals, boosts them and draw cards. At the same theme of tapping opponent's creatures are the Ice Thought Sentry and the Frostbridge Guard. Bramble Familiar is a nice mana dork in the early game that can cheat something big into play later in the game. Scalding Viper is a nice tax effect creature that can be an early bounce removal as well. Rotisserie Elemental has a really slow impulsive draw effect. And finally, Restless Spire is a nice creature land that will be useful in the Elemental's tribal decks. And we will finish with the Knights, the most supported subtype in Eldraine. They got 35 new cards. The most flavorful and important knight in Wilds of Eldraine is the new Craterhoof Bohemian in white. Moonshaker Cavalry is an 8 mana spirit knight that when it TBs gives flying and +X to your creatures, with X equal to the number of creatures you control. He is a perfect finisher for the Knights and the Spirit tribe. Werefox Bodyguard is a nice exile removal for the tribe. Agatha's Champion can be a nice flavorful fight spell if he is bargained. And Witchstalker Frenzy can be a really cheap damage-based removal spell. Lich Knight's Conquest is a massive reanimation spell for 5 mana. With this one, you can trade your random knight tokens into real threats from your graveyard. Sentinel of the Lost Lore has interesting ETB effects, with the most important, the last one, which is a nice graveyard hate effect. Mosswood Dread Knight can be played repeatedly from your graveyard with his adventure card draw effect. Court of Embereth gives you the Monarchy when it TBs and then creates 3/1 knight tokens each turn and potentially bends your opponents if you are the monarch. And finally, Virtue of Loyalty creates a 2/2 knight token in the early game, and the enchantment half grows your army each turn. This was the full tribal review for Wilds of Eldraine. The fairies, the rats and the knights got the best tribal support from this set. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share and subscribe. See you soon with more tribal flavorful videos.